where there are benefits financially for having a family and disadvantages, and then the same side for child-free people.
I'm going to call you out again. We have a family, just don't have kids.
Fair enough. Okay.
Okay, so by the way, I'm pointing that out because that's exactly how the pronatalist language is built into everything.
Right.
It's like you have a family or you don't. No, we have a family. Like give you an example of this. Society for Human Resource Management did a study on child-free folks in work. They found that child-free folks end up working more time, expect to work overtime. They have lesser preference around vacations. Like, oh, well, you don't have kids. You don't have to take Christmas. And I'm like, I got a family. It just happens to be me, my wife, and our dog and our cat. Like, but I also have mom and, grandparents and all that.
And I also don't give a shit about this office. So I don't want to be here.
Yeah, I put in my notice 6 months ago. So they didn't plan, not my problem.
Right.
And there are even benefits that I can't qualify for. So my wife worked at a university and they offered free tuition for kids. So we went to her and said, hey, we're never going to have kids. Can I use it, being her spouse? No. You see, these are all the things that are built in it. We need good systems to support parents. I'm not putting that down.
Yeah.
We need equal for everybody else. And what happens is there's these assumptions that come because you have kids. So one of the common questions we get is, well, who's going to take care of you when you're older? Like, this is just kind of like the refrain. And I have a love-hate thing with this question. And what I love is it gives me an opportunity to talk about it. But what I hate is an assumption. That assumption is your kids are going to take care of you. So let me give you the numbers. In the US, adults over 55, they looked at childless adults and said, what percentage get any financial support from their family? The answer was 2.5%. So that's like nothing. They looked in the same population, adults over 55, and looked at parents and said, what percentage of parents get any financial support from their family? The answer is 1.5%.
Wow.
Your assumption that your kids are going to take care of you is wrong.
Is bullshit.
It's just wrong.
Wow.
The difference is we know we have to handle it. We know we have to have a plan for long-term. My goal is by the time a client hits 45 to have a plan for their long-term care. The other thing that gets more interesting for child-free folks, and the one that's kept me up at night and like been my project for the last 2 years, is solving who is going to be next of kin for child-free folks from a medical, financial, power attorney type structure, an executor of their will. Who makes decisions for you when you can't? And the problem is the legal systems are all built around next of kin. And if you don't have next of kin, the government or the healthcare organizations make decisions for you. That is just not what I want.
Right.
Where I've got people, I got child-free folks in their 30s. I'm like, listen, you got to put a piece of paper that says who's going to be making decisions for you. And remember I said 32.1% will never marry. If it's your, you've been in a couple forever, you've been together for 10 years, you want your spouse to handle this for you. If you're not legally married, they're nobody without the piece of paper. So you have to have power attorneys, all that. So we have to all this paperwork to make up the stuff that's a given for parents. The other interesting one, kind of a side note, I forget what number, 17 states, something like that, in the United States protect against discrimination against family status. Specifically, that only protects people with kids. You can legally discriminate against people without kids in most states.
Crazy.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
You can't say, hey, you can't have this house because you have a kid, but you can say you can't have this house because you don't have a kid.
Right.